Hi, I'm Jordan Rubin, and welcome to Ancient Medicine Today, brought to you by drax.com. And we're going to talk about superfoods. In fact, we're going to discuss how you can eat superfoods in every snack. We have the founder and CEO of Perfect Bar, Bill Keith, good buddy of mine.
Great
Great
to
to
see you
have
again.
you. So we're going to talk a little bit about his story and my history in overcoming serious health issues with the power of superfoods and how you can make sure that every snack that you, your family, your kids consume is really, really nutritious. So Bill and I have known each other for a little over 20 years. It's hard to believe.
It's unreal.
And years ago, and some of you have seen this, when I was dealing with serious illnesses, Crohn's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, et cetera, I visited 70 medical experts. Conventional medicine failed, natural medicine failed, and my dad, who's a naturopath and chiropractor, met a man by telephone who said that he has been called to help cure the incurables. His name was William Bud Keith, Bill's dad, and I talked to him on the phone. I was in a wheelchair. I was desperate for answers, and Bud said, Jordan, if you will follow a diet based on the Bible, proven through history and confirmed by science, if you'll come from Florida, where I was living, to San Diego in 3 months, I will be well and working out on the beach. And so this is my before picture, Crystal Pier in San Diego. Bill was 12 years old. I came in a wheelchair, deathly ill, and in just a 40-day period, I gained nearly 30 pounds, and it was different than anything I'd experienced. I absolutely read the Bible every day, believed God's word, but I never understood that the Bible could hold the secrets to our health.
Absolutely.
And Bud taught me, along with his large family and others that would come from around America and sometimes the world, that our bodies could heal itself based on the divine creation and what God placed inside us. And what's exciting is 21 years ago, the seeds for what has become one of the most successful nutrition snack companies, Perfect Bar, were planted. In fact, you told me yesterday that Perfect Bar really established the category of fresh snacking. And I'm going to get this picture off the board. But bottom line, folks, William Bud Keith, the founding father of Perfect Bar, put me on a journey that has not only helped me get well, but I've been blessed to share that message with so many others through the Maker's Diet and other mediums. So I owe your dad a great debt of gratitude, and that's
Jordan.
pretty exciting. And this is the Perfect Bar team, some of the Perfect Bar family. But I remember, Bill, years ago, the original Perfect Bar, which these
are the
kids,
these are the founders right
yes,
here. Okay,
they were
my
making
sister
them.
Lee, we were making them by hand.
6-year-old, 8-year-old, 10-year-old,
so literally
rolling them
we'd
out.
hand roll them with a rolling pin. We'd cut them up and put them in Ziploc bags, and we sell them to friends. And the difference with this bar is it had 20 organic superfoods. So with these superfoods like kale, spinach, rosehip, it's foods you don't get every day in your diet, right? So we used to hate eating different snacks that our dad would feed us, right? A lot of gluten-free, a lot of organic stuff, and we're like, oh, this is gross. He would take these supplements. Whenever he gave us these supplements, we'd take them and we'd spit them out. What kid likes taking supplements? So he thought of an idea. He said, let's take these supplements, ground them into a powder, put it into a blend of organic nut butter and honey, and he gave these, they were protein balls to us kids. And so we grew up eating these protein balls, and they were absolutely delicious, and we loved them. Little did we know is we were taking our supplements. So, give it a few years, and down the road, my father, he ended up getting sick with skin cancer. And this is after you had started, your business, and we need a way to provide for our family. So we went back to the basics, and we said, okay, we're giving these protein bars to friends and to family. Let's take these bars and try to sell them into stores, because the age-old adage to every young entrepreneur, his friend says, you sell these in stores, they're delicious. So we started going into stores and pitching these products. Of course, we had Ziploc bag, and that wasn't working. So we ended up actually taking, we had a property that we were losing because of medical bills and all kinds of expenses. and we moved into a rental, took the equity out of our house, and built this little kitchen that mass produced these bars. When I say mass produced, we're talking maybe 1,000 bars a week. That was big for us. And that started the journey. And we started the fresh set and fresh snacking. And now we're a cornerstone brand in that set. And it's pretty cool because over the last few years, my brothers and sisters have developed into business people. They work all throughout the company. And we're now touching those folks out there that looking for how to get their superfoods in a packaged way, that's easy to get. So.
Now, years ago, when the original Perfect Bar was in those baggies, there was a saying, if it's not refrigerated, it's not perfect.
That's right.
Now, people who are watching, they buy bars from the bar set, which is either on an aisle, sometimes it's by the register.
Mm-hmm.
What makes a fresh snack a perfect snack?
So good question, Jordan. So we cold press these bars. These are not baked, all right? A lot of bars in the dry bar set have an emulsifier. Emulsifier is what binds the oils and proteins together to make a product shelf stable. So we don't add any of those preservatives, okay? The only preservative we add is the organic honey, and we use nature's oldest preservative, the refrigerator. So we literally, over the period of time while we were building this fresh set across the country in retail, we were educating consumers to look at their snack and their eating options in a different way. The great part about this bar is you can take it with you. It's portable. You don't have to be sitting in a fridge while you eat it.
Okay, that's
so
good.
That's good.
Good to know.
No, that's good. And you can take it with you throughout the day. It'll last for about a week. And what happens is it starts to dry up because we don't add any of those preservatives in the product.
So I'm going to take what is the flagship bar. Now, there are
delicious.
some new bars that we do not have here because they were all eaten. So that's a good problem to have, right? When your bars are so good that they're all eaten. I want you to talk about the new flavors in a moment,
Absolutely.
but this is the peanut butter bar. And it's interesting. We talked about this last night. Peanuts are very nutritious. They're really a legume, not a nut. I want you to talk about peanuts in a moment. Organic peanuts are in high demand. Now, I know that there's talk about peanut allergies and airplanes don't have them, but I think that's a little bit overblown. At the end of the day, peanuts contain monounsaturated fats that are very satiating.
Absolutely.
They also have a good source of protein, carbohydrate, etc., and they are delicious. But I'm going to read some of these ingredients. Bill was talking about superfoods, and we tell you here at the Dr. Axe studios and at our companies that consuming superfoods, foods that provide nutrition beyond conventional or ordinary foods, are critical. And I remember Bud would grind up those little tablets, and they tasted awful, right?
Horrible.
Liver and kale and celery. And he would put just enough in the Perfect Bar so that you would get a little bit of this powerful food. The other benefit of consuming Perfect Bars, you get a variety of nutrients.
That's right.
When was the last time you ate a rose hip? Now, I know you could make tea, but I'm not even sure where the hip is on a rose. You know, I mean, where do you find the hip? But when you're looking here, you're talking about, first of all, there's an oil blend. I remember the old days making the oils, but there is flaxseed oil, organic sunflower, sesame, olive, pumpkin seed. Those are high in omega-3s, 6s, and 9s, good quality plant-based organic oils. Then the long list of superfoods, we've got kale, flaxseed, rose hips, orange, lemon, papaya, tomato, apple, alfalfa, celery, kelp, dulse, carrot, and spinach. So you've got all of these in small amounts, but
Gotta get that
if you're
dulse.
not getting, yes, the dulse is amazing. If you're not getting sea vegetables every day, if you're not consuming greens, and this is the only green your child consumes, pretty awesome. Now here's what people who have not seen Perfect Bars need to know. While there are greens, this is not green, folks. This is a beautiful bar that no one will ever know contains all these powerful nutrients. And by the way, we're talking about 17 grams of protein, 20 grams of superfoods, and let me see this here. We've got
also low glycemic.
Low glycemic, you just told me about this, but here's the payoff, 18 grams of fat.
Yep.
You know what I love about today's day and age? Fat is awesome.
Right.
When you all started Perfect Bar, I'm not talking about the 20 plus years ago. I'm saying when you started getting in stores, there was fat phobia. Fat is your friend. Fat and fiber are your friends, and there's even some fiber in each of these
4
bars.
grams of fiber.
So 4 grams of fiber, 18 grams of fat. Fat and fiber are your friends for fullness. So Bill, I'm going to let you talk a little bit about the flavors. Tell us some things about them, how the audience at large likes them. And by the way, if you are just tuning in, I'm Jordan Rubin here on Ancient Medicine Today with Bill Keith, founder and CEO of Perfect Bar. We're talking about superfoods in every snack. The Keith family, the founding family of Perfect Bar, their father, Bud Keith, got me started on my journey towards health transformation. And Bill and myself and others are carrying on that legacy. And this is the epitome of a family business. I remember the day when Bill was 12, Lee, who's backstage, was 10. They were rolling out these Perfect Bars. They were selling them to friends, giving them out, and ever since, the momentum has been growing. And Perfect Bar, Bill, tell us a little bit about the success. Where does Perfect Bar rank in health food store bars? Because this gets me excited and a little proud.
Well, first of all, I mean, my family, it's the testament of Perfect Bar is just a family getting together and overcoming adversity and doing whatever it took to, with something that we absolutely believe in. Perfect Bar, we grew up eating. We noticed all the benefits of eating it growing up. Taking these health nutrition principles and the legacy of my father and expanding it to the world, I mean, we feel truly blessed. But let's talk about the journey, right? So the peanut butter bar was the original, right? That was the original bar that started all. It was in a grouping. We launched with 3 flavors: the carob chip,
I'm going to try every one, so you have to
and
slow
the
down
fruit
just a
and
little
nut. So we launched with those 3 flavors. At the time, they were in Ziploc bags. Again, we ended up having to sell our house. And we got my mom, bless her heart. She, my father's falling ill. She believes in her kids enough to let the assets go and start this company. I mean, it's radical just to think about that from a mother's perspective. And then from that, so we have our nut butter base. From that, we launch a cranberry crunch, which is a little bit lighter, right, in calories. If you're not looking for that heavy caloric bar, a little bit lighter, we have the cranberry crunch. Then from there, we launched the almond butter, so it's like the peanut butter, but just in it with the almond. And then from there, what was the next one, Lee? It was the acai. We launched the acai, which is a lighter version of the almond. And then the 3 flavors we launched recently was a cashew, peanut butter coconut, and almond maple, which we don't have here. So
I'm going to try this one. I've never had peanut butter coconut.
It's
awesome.
delicious. It's absolutely delicious. So once we got out of the gates and started going into different retails, one of our first big breaks was Whole Foods. And the secret with this bar, being in the refrigerator, it was tough to find, right? You'd go to different stores and where is it? It was almost like a Where's Waldo, right? So we'd educate the consumers through these demos, and my brothers and sisters and I would go to these stores and perform these demos. While we were doing that, we can educate the consumer on the benefits of superfoods, the high protein, why we don't add any of the preservatives that a lot of the other bars contain. And then fast forward it till now, it's absolutely unreal. We were able to take the success of a local chain of stores and leverage that across the country, and to now we're in over 16,000 stores. And it's growing very rapidly. But I always go back to why did we start this? And the reason we started this was to basically continue my father's legacy, our family legacy, of providing whole foods in an easily sourced way, in an easily packaged way. These superfoods, this high protein, and this balanced bar to the consumers out there. So we're really excited about it.
I'm going to eat one more, but this is a pretty great show for me. I'm just eating my way through, eating up the airtime, as you will. But remember, folks, our children are only with us for so many hours a day and really so many years. And I think we need to maximize every single snack. So when you can offer your children high quality proteins, fats, and superfoods, it is truly amazing. And obviously, we want our kids to eat fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds. I always say, eat fruit with a fat. So if you're going to have raspberries, have some raw cheese. If you're going to have carrots, have some almond butter or some hummus, etc. I have never met anyone who doesn't love the taste of Perfect Bar. And I'll say again, the two new ones that you let me try, which are conspicuously absent from the set today,
I wonder why.
are really, really amazing. But if you have not heard of Perfect Bar, if you don't know the Keith story, visit perfectbar.com. I mean, I think that it's really inspiring. So many people out there, in fact, more than ever, want to take their passion and turn it into a career.
Right.
I like to call it business on purpose. And what I love about the Keith story and Perfect Bar, it's all about paying it forward. And me, myself, everything that I've been blessed to do has come directly from Bud Keith's belief in me and his passion to help people transform their health using a biblically based diet. And Dr. Axe, my co-laborer in our mission, he has been able to benefit indirectly because he and I have worked together in a mentor type relationship. So it's really, really exciting, and we don't believe the journey ends. Some of you who are watching are struggling, and you might say, well, I look like this. Well, we know there's hope. I tried 69 means to get well, and it wasn't until one man believed enough in me, didn't charge me anything, invited me to be part of his family for a period of time, and infused faith in me. And we talk about this often. The imagination and the belief and the faith that it takes to do something great is pretty awesome. And I remember talking to you and your family, and you all were in very serious trouble financially, etc. And God has done a miraculous turnaround. And so what I love about voting with your dollars, supporting brands that you love, you can vote on a certain bill or you can vote for a politician, but if you vote with your dollars, if you purchase products that are family-owned, mission-driven companies, you can truly change the world one delicious cashew and blueberry bite at a time. So Bill, if someone were to say to you, all right, I have lots of snacking options, tell me in 1 minute or less, why Perfect Bar? Why should I, why should my kids, why should my friends consume Perfect Bars every day?
Well, first I would say I have 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 1-year-old son. And they absolutely love, they call them daddy bars. And I would not give give my kids, just like you would not give your kids, anything that would any way compromise their health. This product, these bars, and the passion that my family has been behind, and we're carrying on this legacy, is the big difference is you got the high protein, the organic, non-GMO, 20 superfoods in there, like Jordan read off. None of the preservatives in there that would keep a product in the dry shelf, and the taste is absolutely delicious. You see a lot of different bars out there that have, oh my gosh, all these amazing stats, but when you try it, you go, oh, that's not real food. With this, it tastes like cookie dough. We have a flavor for every palate, and I just recommend going trying one, and look forward to getting your response.
Now listen, we absolutely love Perfect Bar, and I want to share a little behind the scenes here. When Bill and his team were coming, my kids got wind of it, and so Joshua and Alexis are both here, and I'm going to go ahead and let you demonstrate the delicious flavor of a Perfect Bar. And they're not mic'd, but I just tried these two. The coconut peanut butter and the blueberry cashew are, well, like the kids say, the bomb. So go ahead, Alexis. Alexis is 9, Joshua's 13. You've seen them before, profiling products. They'll be at Natural Products Expo. So I'm going to stand real close to you. I don't think you've tried this one. I want you, once you're done chewing, to tell the audience how delicious this bar is. Because, I mean, it's got medium chain fatty acids. It's got extra fiber. I've never had this one, Bill.
Yeah.
Now add that to the list of the bars you haven't sent me. So I'm trying to milk it for all it's worth. So what do you think, buddy? This is awesome, isn't it?
This is delicious. I've actually had 3 of these today earlier.
We were wondering off stage where all the
Where did
bars
those
that we
bars
brought
go?
went. We're actually doing a Dr. Axe Lunch and Learn where the Perfect Bar team is going to share about superfoods. They're going to share about the Perfect Bar Company, and they're going to talk a little bit about what they're doing in the future to transform the way America snacks. And you told me some things last night that we're not going to make public, but there are some new products on the horizon. Remember, folks, you can buy bars in the aisle, you can buy them at the register, but the fresh snacking, I like
Right.
that, it's fresh.
It's fresh.
It's another word the kids say. So Alexis, come close to the mic. How do you like the blueberry cashew?
I love it.
3
There you
words.
go.
Enough
There you
said.
go.
Thank you all. These are my
Thank you, kids.
my small co-laborers in tasting. But folks, you who have kids know how difficult it is to get children to like something. When I'm formulating a product,
Right.
they do not lie. They cannot be forced to eat things.
Absolutely.
Sometimes bribery works, I've found. But these bars are really awesome. And again, folks, the consumption of nuts and seeds, fruits and vegetables, loaded with polyphenols. One underappreciated benefit of peanuts is the antioxidants
Right.
that peanuts contain. So you look at some of these delicious foods and beverages, chocolate, coffee, coconut, peanut, they have these antioxidants, and they're finding the combination of antioxidants and monounsaturated fats in peanuts can increase longevity and reduce the risk of various health challenges. And so Bill, what's the prescription for fresh snacking? How many Perfect Bars do you eat a day? I mean, you're obviously of the larger ilk, but when somebody says, well, my kids don't supplement, they don't eat very healthy,
Right.
but they love the taste of these, what do you recommend for children and for adults in terms of the frequency by which you can eat?
No, absolutely. So for me personally, I'm down to about 1 a day. You know, sometimes if I get super competitive, I'll go up to 2 or 3. Again, great for endurance because the organic honey is the sweetener, is a carbohydrate. Great for pre-workout. We have a lot of triathletes and cyclists and different endurance athletes that love these bars. But for the person like me that you have a job and you come home and you try to work out 3 or 4 times a week, I usually try to eat a half a bar 30 minutes before my workout and a half a bar afterwards. Sometimes I'm so hungry I eat a whole bar, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then for kids, we'll usually split them into halves. You know, we have the lower calorie bars, which will give them a whole one. We also have minis that are not shown here. Or we'll crack the bar in half, put it in our kids' lunches, and they absolutely love it. Again, to your point, a product can have all the stats, have all the great ingredients, but if they're not asking for more, then what's the point? So we feel that this is the best of both worlds.
Real food nutrition, ingredients you can understand, that is where it's at. And Perfect Bar, fresh snacking, real foods, and most of all, they're delicious.
Absolutely.
And I don't know about the half a bar twice a day stuff, Bill, but I'm all about it. Folks, remember, we at draxe.com are passionate about your health. If you want more information about superfoods, benefits of healthy fats, etc., visit draxe.com where there are nearly 2,000 articles that'll transform your health. And make sure to subscribe to this channel because you never know what delicious food or snack is going to show up. We believe in Bill and the Perfect Bar team, and we want you to vote with your dollars. Go out to one of the 16,000 locations. I bet there's a store locator.
Absolutely.
Right here.
Perfectbar.com. Put in your zip code. It'll show you a massive stores in your area.
And if the stores in your area are much like us, missing a few of the favorites, you can always order direct from
Absolutely.
perfectbar.com.
Perfectbar.com.
Buy from families that believe like you do, care about you. And as I said, I owe a debt of gratitude to the Keith family. I was there watching when I was sick in a wheelchair as the seeds of Perfect Bar were sown, and now what a blessing. I tell you this all the time, Bill. I'm really proud of what you and your family has done, and when I see Perfect Bar in these umpteen thousand locations, I feel a sense of pride of having seen something literally rise from the ashes to transform the way America snacks, transforming health, one bite of deliciousness at a time. So I'm Jordan Rubin with Bill Keith from Perfect Bar, wishing you God's blessings and delicious snacking. Go out and buy a Perfect Bar before I eat them all.
Thank you all.